Hello, people. It is the Horrorcraft Podcast, and I am Cass, and I'm with.
Kylee, what's up, guys?
You might have seen us if you were watching the YouTube version or you're listening. Go watch the YouTube version because Kylee and I were dancing in the beginning. We are trying some things out, so let us know what you think. But if you can't notice by our subliminal messaging, we are talking about Jaws today, specifically Jaws 2. Now, we do have an episode called Jawsome that we did with Ashley Causey, that we did 2 years ago. This month did celebrate the 50th anniversary. Well, no, it was in June. It was the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And Kylee and I were actually together the day that happened. So we did watch Jaws 1 and 2. But this is just kind of a nice little summer, what's summer without Bruce the Shark, really?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's very nostalgic to me. It's one my dad introduced me to and he loved, and I just loved it.
Yeah, it definitely brings a new meaning to you're going to need a bigger boat because in this one, I mean, the budget gets amped, everything gets amped up, and we're kind of seeing so many different things. But it kind of is also same bullshit, different day because we see a lot of that. You would think that Brody would get respect for everything that happened in the first movie, but
he does not.
He does not. So, rude. It's just very, it is. It is rude because, like, he fought a whole freaking shark. What else do you want? Like, I have no words, but, it is what it is. So, hopefully, after this movie, they do respect him. We don't really get to see that. But hopefully after this movie, they were like,
What?
you were right. You were right about that. So, but we are super excited to get into this. So we are going to go ahead and grab our shark snacks.
I got my Alani.
I mean, Alani probably could save you from a shark attack if we're being honest. I have faith in Alani.
Listen, I can do anything as long as I got an Alani.
That's very true.
And Alani, we trust.
We do. So I'm without my Alani because if I drank an Alani right now, I would not go to sleep. But I do in Alani. I trust. But it would make a good. It would make a good shark because honestly, you go fight a shark. You take a little bit of an Alani, you go fight a shark. Like, it's natural energy.
Yeah.
So, you could get in those waters. You could just Chief Brody it up, just punch a shark.
Yep.
So, Alani is anti-shark. It's the plan. It's how you defeat the sharks. So, defeat the sharks and possibly defeat the aliens. So, but grab your shark snacks. Stay away from murky waters. And let's get into Jaws 2.
Welcome to the Horrorcraft Podcast.
Okay, we are back. So, like Kylee and I were talking in the intro, Jaws 2 is definitely it's a bigger, it kind of expands everything, but it's the same idea behind a lot of it. It's just different components to it. And it's kind of timeless, just like the original Jaws.
Yeah.
But obviously by the time this came out, Jaws was recognizable. There was a lot that went behind it. I know for the 50th anniversary, I wonder if I can find it. If I can, I will put the link down below. But they showed they had like clips of people coming out of the original Jaws, and they were just like, this is horrible, and like talking, like the way people were talking about Jaws is the way that you would expect people to talk about the first Terrifier or any of the Terrifier movies. But
Well, like, I think, to be honest, that I can recall, that's one of the first movies, I mean, Jaws 1, that you see a kid dies in a horror movie and in a horrible way, which they did not even include the whole scene when Alex Kinster from the first movie died, but just what was, in the final cut was enough for people.
it was a lot. I mean, for that time period, which is wild
Yeah,
because like Exorcist was probably, I think, was
yeah.
already out by that time and stuff like that. So it's
This
just
was
like,
another, like, boom.
it was just kind of one of those like, and I do get it. So, but before we get any further in this conversation, if you have not watched Jaws 2, which I did not mention in the beginning, so I apologize, but it is currently on Peacock. They have all of the Jaws
Yep.
movies to my recollection because of the 50th anniversary. And if you're a Jaws fan, there is a crap ton of really cool Jaws merch out right now for the 50th.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
highly go recommend it. Yeah, checking those out. I know that they even have like Tom's shoes. No, Hey Dudes. Hey Dudes. They have like Hey Dudes Jaws edition, and they're really freaking cool.
You
So
know, I'm due for a new pair of Hey Dudes.
why not them? Yeah, why not Jaws?
Yeah.
So
I love sharks. I love Jaws. Raiden's got a shark sleeper. He's got a swim outfit that's got sharks on it. It's freaking adorable.
he's Jawsome. That's just
Yeah,
what it is.
he is.
So
You gave Julian a big shark
shark, yes,
plushie.
I did.
I think his name is Jimmy.
Yes, his name is Jimmy.
His name is Jimmy.
He kept bringing Jimmy around to different places, and I was
Yeah.
like, Jimmy the Shark Man, Jimmy the
Yep.
Shark.
Yep.
So everyone needs an emotional support shark, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Just not those ones we saw at Jungle Gyms.
no. So last year, Kylee and I, we took a little bonus trip. We went to a convention at the time, and we had some time to kill. And I frequent Jungle Gyms, which if you've never been to Jungle Gyms, and one of these days we're going to go a day because we had hyped it up today
Yeah.
and Jazzy, and they were like, so one of these days we're going to have to do like a Hell Zone field trip where we
Yep.
go in there. But literally Jungle Gyms is just like somebody walked into a big building and they were like, you know what would work here? A grocery store, but not any grocery store. We're going to put some weird shit in here. I
Yep.
need some some weird animatronics here. I need a boat. I need a bunch of mannequins. I need a movie theater. I need some outhouses that look like outhouses, but they're bathrooms. I need a big thing
That
of
was
cheese.
so fucking wild, dude.
Kylie, when she opened, because basically the bathrooms look like a porta potty, but you open the door and it's a literal like nice bathroom.
Nice.
And
Yep.
Kylie turned around and looked at me as she opened it up, and she was like, what is this? And she came out and she was like, I think I went to the bathroom in a different dimension. I'm
That's
like,
what it felt like.
it was
It's exactly
crazy.
what it felt like. It felt like I went to Narnia.
It does because, okay, before we get to the part that we're talking about, there's a ton of things. And Kylee had already got this hyped up because I had told her like different things. But one of the biggest things is what I got freaked out about is there is a clip, and I'll have to find it and see if I can put it on our socials. But there is a clip of it of the first time my son hit the button, and there is a bunch of animatronics, and when you hit the button, there is one in particular that's on the end of this aisle. It doesn't look like anything. You push the button, and I swear to God, it is the Keebler elves talking to the Raisin Bran son, talking to Tony the tiger on a rocking horse with Geppetto and Pinocchio joining in. Let's let that sink in for a minute. It's literally some like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, but they have all kinds of stuff. So they have like bug candy, like they have literally everything you could think of. We get to the seafood section, and they have a literal boat there, and they have all kinds of stuff. Well, they have little mini like sharks,
You can buy
and
them and cook
you
them and eat them.
yeah, and Kylee, without skipping a beat, literally turned to the little she was like, "You're one of Bruce's little badass kids, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yes, Kylee, that's what happened." So, and then the Jaws references kept coming because there's the big boat, and she was like, "If they had that boat, they wouldn't have needed a bigger boat." I'm
That
like,
was a way bigger boat, better boat than the Orca.
truly, truly. So, but yeah, if you're ever at Jungle Gyms and you see those sharks, they're Bruce's badass kids that got caught up.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that was a fun and wild time. But we were just, that was a fun experience because that was also the day that Microsoft crashed, and
Oh gosh.
everything was like there were places closing because of their systems, and it was like a whole thing. Well, Kylee and I get back, and there's a movie that has Patrick Wilson in it. I'm trying to think of the name, but it also has Halle Berry, but it was kind of like very
Nightfall.
Nightfall, something like that. And
Yeah.
Kylee took a nap but woke up and we were still watching it, and she was like, I'm not mentally prepared to watch this today of all
No.
days. I'm like,
No.
that's pretty valid. So, but if you're ever at Jungle Gyms, let us know. Let us know what you think of it. There's 2 different locations. So, there's just really random stuff. The other location that I didn't take Kylee to has an Elvis singing Ear of Corn.
You know, I think whoever is the owner of that store and created it had to be doing a lot of psychedelic drugs.
I think he just wanted to make things weird and cool.
But good for them, because I
Yeah.
like weird.
Yeah, God, literally, we've been there 5 times now, and I still don't think we've gone through all of each one. Like, the last time we went, I think that's the most that we've actually gone into sections, but normally I have Braden, and we get caught up in, like, different sections, like the cheese section and stuff, but the fruit section and everything, that was the first time I'd really seen all of that. But yeah, Jungle Gyms. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's grocery store.
Yep,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
So, but Jaws 2 does not have Bruce's kids, but doesn't even have Bruce because it's not the same shark.
Yeah, who is this shark? Did like Bruce have babies? Did he have a baby mom that had a kid?
Maybe it's an
And
angry
like
baby mom.
maybe it's an angry baby mom. Um, I mean, like, yeah, I don't. That's what I was trying to figure. Like, and like even in the other movies, like who's this shark? Like maybe in Jaws Revenge, maybe that was like Bruce's kid.
That's how they ended up at Jungle Gyms.
Yep.
They got toasted after that movie.
Yep.
So, good for them. But no, that's what I was wondering. I think this is very vengeful baby mama behavior. I'm just gonna say that. Like this is like, you killed my child's father. I'm gonna mess with you.
Yeah, but I'm coming after yours.
I'm coming after your kids. So, to briefly synopsize this, basically, they don't really specify a time period after after the events of the first one. We have to assume it's at least been like 5 to
It
7
has to be.
years.
It has to be. I'm thinking like 5
Yeah, it has to be 5 at least. But
at least.
we see Chief Brody. Um, he kind of has returned to normal everyday life, and we see that his wife has joined forces with one of the real estate moguls in the area, and they are trying to build up Amity, and the mayor is all about it
Of
because,
course.
yeah, and is just very gung-ho. And we do see his son, both of his sons are now older, but his oldest
Hmm.
son in particular, we do see a lot more interaction with him in the teens of Amity. And weird things start happening. Like in the beginning, we see some divers bite the dust. There's a boat accident, and nobody's really believing Brody.
Well, and
And
there's the orca, the killer whale that washes up on shore that's dead and has a huge chunk out of it.
yeah, and Brody is just on high alert because he even calls Hopper from the original, and we kind of find out that he's on a boat somewhere. Um,
That part really bothered me because like if Brody's calling you, you should have figured out how to get back a hold of him because clearly something's going on.
yeah,
But there's a reason because Richard Dreyfuss wasn't in the second one. That's why they did what they did. But I don't. Yeah.
I mean, the movie's tagline is just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Yeah.
And that's really, we kind of see Brody at first questioning himself throughout this movie
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to over jump the gun, but obviously can't forget what happened the first time. Like, he fought a shark, and that was pretty crazy. So, um, you kind of see how he kind of like second guesses himself in different ways. We do see a lot of the schematics, but um there is a very like titular point of this movie where Brody freaks out, um and he does so on the beach, and they decide like, we're not listening to you, hands off. And once again, I don't know what to tell you. And it does come back and bite them in the behind because his son doesn't listen to him, takes his little brother, and they get stuck in the middle of the ocean. And we have probably one of the most epic kind of build outs when it comes to the Jaws universe, because a lot of people remember very vividly that whole scene with them getting on like the station island thing, and then the helicopter and what happens with that. And that's kind of taken off in other movies. Like one that I immediately go to is how that's kind of ripped off from um not only not Deep Rising Leviathan, but Deep Blue Sea is another
Yeah.
one where that really
Yeah.
does kind of happen
Yeah.
in there. So some shenanigans, ensue. Brody's got to do what he's got to do, him and his wife both, and he does save everyone. But once again, he saves everyone after nobody listened to him.
Yep.
So I feel like at this point, there needs to be a shirt that says Chief Brody is always right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, really. That little girl, too, that clocks it, that is a shark tower when they're going to, looking on the
Oh
beach.
yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
was and the mayor's like, no, it's not.
He's watching. He's watching birds. Blah blah blah. Ain't nobody watching no fucking birds up there, dude. Come on, man. This is the ocean.
Yeah.
That is a shark lookout, and that probably wasn't originally ever there in the first one, and they probably put it in after everything happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Because technically, Amity is an island off of like Martha's Vineyard. That's where they filmed
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have any water experiences or anything that stands out to you?
Nothing bad. Not in like the ocean.
Yeah, I've never see. So this takes place in the ocean, but I always kind of related to this because for those of you who don't know where I grew up in Sandusky, Ohio, and it is a lake town. It is very notorious during the summer for Cedar Point and Lake.
Yeah, there's like that certain culture when there is like a lake or an ocean, and you definitely see that in this movie. I mean, the kids have they all have boats. I looked it up actually because it just bothered me. Okay, like these kids are on these sailboats, and what are they called? Hold on one second, let me get my notes. Sloop boats and catamaran boats. I probably maybe saying those wrong, but like those I don't feel are good for the ocean. If there are dangerous animals, apex predators in the fucking ocean, you do not need to be on those. Okay? Those are for the lake. Those are for the river. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up very much like this. Like,
Yeah.
even though we didn't have a boat, we knew tons of people who had boats. I grew up. My dad worked in a bait shop. One of my first jobs was counting worms, and yeah,
Bruh.
yeah. And this bait house was actually right across the street from the municipal court. So there were a lot of police officers that would come over and they would buy me things. They would buy me like beef jerky and stuff because I would like bat my eyelashes and they'd be like, yeah, here's some money for her. But like, I was used to a lot of it. Like we were around a lot of people that had boats. My uncle was a charter boat captain. My family was big with commercial fishing. Back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. That was one of my grandfather's first jobs was getting on the boat with his father. Um, and fish is like a huge thing. Like that's what we did during the summertime is we got fish, we had a fish fry, and I grew up with a lot of that. Like a lot of my diet growing up, especially during the summertime, was seafood because you get walleye and perch and a lot of other things. So it's just like when I got older, jet skis, going on the boat
Yeah.
with friends, going to the sandbar, like going to Cedar Point, and Cedar Point Beach was there, and going to different beaches. Like that was a big thing when I was growing up.
You
So,
know, my dad did actually have a boat like growing up at one point in time. We had like a reservoir, like where I'm from, it's a reservoir. Like it's nothing. It's kind of gross actually. but it was really fun going out on the boat because my dad, he lived kind of everywhere growing up, and just like being on the ocean. So he was really big into like water skiing when he was like young and stuff. But we had a boat, and there was one time I forgot to tell him to put the plug in the boat. Why he designated me to remember that and to do that, don't know. Don't know. Um, but yeah, we weren't that far off, and I think we were just getting the boat off of the like on the dock, getting it into the water when it started. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I went to summer camp a couple years, and the summer camp that I went to was on Kelly's Island, which, if you go to Sandusky, you then can take a ferry and you can go to Put-in-Bay, Kelly's Island, North Bass, different things like that. So I would go to this camp on Kelly's Island, and one of the things you could do is you could go out on the water, and they would have like the tubes and everything. Well, they would have one of the banana boats. And
Yeah.
one year I went with all of the girls that I was bunking with, and you could have like 5 people on this big one. And we were kind of going out because they'll put you on it and then they'll push it out and then they'll like take off. And we had stopped at one point in time, and I didn't see that they said that we were like going. And so they like hit it, and we all just went like, and the whole thing just like flipped up, and we all just like went flying. And yeah, it was not, no. And Lake Erie can be scary because like deeper, like people don't realize this, but there are really deep parts and deep pockets of Lake Erie
Yeah.
that is terrifying. Like, and there are sunken ships at the bottom. There are like famous shipwrecks at the bottom of Lake Erie that like you could go. Like, I've actually gone scuba diving near one before at the same camp. Like,
Did
uh,
you actually see it like the
mhm.
sunken ship? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they take you out and
Yeah.
they do that, and it's
Did
like
you
an
have like
extra.
all the gear and like the oxygen tank and stuff?
Mm-hmm. They teach you all of that. They take you, and they actually, it was like an extra thing that you could do. And
Yeah.
would take you, and they would like try it out in the pool first. You would have to go, and you would have to be with the
Yeah.
gear and everything, and you would have to do that. But yeah, I wasn't the greatest at that, but it was cool. But at the same time, I just got kind of freaked out because like I've seen way too many scary movies, and I was like, I'm not ending up
Yeah.
like not ending up like this. And I had just
Yeah.
watched Leviathan for the first time before that, and like I'm like, this is like one of those ships. Like I'm gonna get screwed. Like I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna turn into an alien, and uh, like bye, mom and dad. Like I don't know. My thought process was just like, because the camp is very much like a bougie version of Camp Crystal Lake. Um, it's kind of that kind of setup, but and that was also the first time my grandfather really experienced me being away, my great grandfather. And he sent me with like $20 worth of change in a Ziploc baggie
I
to
love
like
that.
make phone calls. And I would hear at least once a day, can Cassandra Grinstead please come to the nurse's station? There's a phone call from your grandfather. Can you please come to the nurse's station? Because I didn't have a cell phone.
Right.
But yeah. And if I wasn't back in time, it was like, where were you? He was afraid I was going to get abducted. I went on like a trolley to like go see all the sights and stuff, and he thought I got abducted. It was like a whole thing.
Listen, like there are a lot of bad things that can happen at camp. I mean, unfortunately, look at Camp Mystic in Texas right now, flooding.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine how these families are feeling right now. And to send your kid, I mean, it's just, your precious jewels, sending them off to something so simple, things can happen. So I can see why your grandpa would feel that way.
Yeah. Sorry if it looked like I was Hannibal Lectering myself for a minute, guys. It's just super extremely hot here in Ohio right now, and it's hot in here. So I have to, cool myself. I forgot that we were on camera for because to me, I'm just hanging out with Kylee on here. So
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I have one of those moments where it's just, but yeah, no, I totally understood, but it definitely was like a magical time. So I could very much like relate to a lot of the teens in this because while I wasn't the kind of kid that was like, let's take a boat and go drinking because that was just very like
Yeah.
non me. A lot of my summer was pool, swimming, like doing different things, like being by the water, going to Cedar Point, doing different things like that. That was a lot of my childhood. So I kind of relate. I can't relate to the Jaws part. I'd be a little concerned if there was a shark in Lake Erie.
Dude, I remember being a kid being sometimes scared to get into the pool because I thought a shark was going to be in there. Did you ever feel that way?
A little bit. Like when we would go to the beach,
Yeah.
specifically, because we have a lot of
Yeah.
beaches like near us, I would be very concerned. Like, is this where I'm just gonna go?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go. Because the other crazy part about it too, and it's happened more since I've been an adult, is what they don't tell you is about the tide. And there have been a lot of,
Really?
yeah, and there are a lot of times where like the lake effect, the tide, different things like that, they tell people like don't,
It can be as strong like the ocean.
it could if it drags you under, it just you're gone. There have been multiple people that have died because they just got
Wow.
pulled under
Well, I mean,
because
it's kind of like down here, like the Ohio River. Like you don't go swimming in the Ohio River. Like you kind of just that's just not. But a lot of people will go on boats. You see the barges a lot,
mhm,
which I thought was like when I first moved down here. I'm like, this is crazy. Like there's a boat in the river and it's got trash or whatever that's on it, you know. But that is one thing. Like you don't, especially like around here, because like there is like the Scioto River
yeah,
that's like or whatever. And I do remember a couple of summers ago, maybe it was last summer or the summer before that, it had rained and there were people down there fishing and they went swimming and a kid got pulled under and passed away unfortunately, which it was very eerie driving. I was going somewhere. It was like on like I don't know, I guess a bridge overpass, I don't know. But um you could see them like there were cars there and you could just see like emergency vehicles starting to pull up and you just kind of knew like that's something happened. But yeah, like even the higher river, like when you fish, you're not even supposed to eat the fish,
yeah,
which
there.
I wouldn't either because to be honest,
Mm,
I've heard a lot of things about people disposing bodies in the higher river and it doesn't surprise me.
I mean, I've been eating fish from Lake Erie since I was not even one. Like, probably when I shouldn't even really have been eating it. Like, I have a picture of my grandfather trying to feed me like a small bite of perch before my first birthday. Um, so at this point, like something's gonna kill me. And if it's the fish from there, like I'm like, okay, well, I guess that was like the fish or whoever getting justice for years and years of my family, like picking off their families. So, you know, checks and balances at some point. But yeah,
The
it's
karma, the
the
karmic
karma.
balance.
But yeah, the current, they tell you like, oh, the current and you shouldn't be swimming, but there are some people that do, and unfortunately there are accidents that happen with that. I mean, because the other thing too is like we do joke about it, but the water spouts that happen, they literally, you're laughing because Kylie calls them water sprouts.
I could not believe when you first told me and explained these to me and showed me, and it's just like a water tornado.
Yeah, it
I'm like,
really is. So, um, I will have to show you a YouTube video after this. But the Sandusky State Theater, like our state theater that was like from the early 1900s, half of that building got taken off because of a water spout. It was literally like it touched land from the lake, and literally it took out that and like the back of a couple buildings. And so yeah.
like, can we not?
Yeah, it's like, so when
Yeah,
like
I don't.
certain things happen in Twister, like remember how we were going to Johnny and Friends and we were like, were we just in like, did we just
Did we just
become
drive through a freaking Twister?
right? Did that just happen? Like, but that happens here. So it's just one of those things that like you just don't think about because it's Ohio, right? But
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that happens.
It's
It,
so crazy how different it is down here compared to how it is up there. Really, especially because like we have horrible like humidity, heat, like Florida, and
yes, yes.
we're just 3 hours away from each other,
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
literally.
Cause I literally left to go to Kylie's and it was raining. It was cold here. And I even brought a jacket because I'm like, oh no, all my outfits for vacation are like sleeveless, stuff like that. We get an hour away from Kylie's and it's like we hit the oven setting. Like it literally, like the closer I got, it's literally like you could see it in the air. Like
Yeah,
cue the Phil Collins, like it is in the air. Like it really was just bad.
I can
Yes.
feel it coming in the
There
air
is a remix
tonight.
with that and Back That Thing Up that's going on TikTok right now. And I never have thought more in my life that two songs deserve to be with each other. So if you listen to that, you'll understand why. So I have a fun question to ask about Jaws because I was trying to think of something for this. But what do you think is scarier? Bruce's baby mamas, we're affectionately calling the shark in Jaws 2, or the teenager's decision making in here? Because we're both moms.
The teenager's decision making here, and I took notes, okay, because I have several discrepancies, okay. First off, the theme of this whole movie is listen to your fucking parents. Listen to your parents. You don't know it all, okay? Second, like when the shark finally catches up to the kids, like and Michael falls off, gets hurt, busts his head, like and they leave Sean there, his little brother, with the other teams. I'm like, why didn't you send Sean with him? You could have saved him from some trauma because the older girl he was on the boat with gets eaten by a shark. Like, what do you? I don't listen to your fucking parents, okay?
Listen to your
Listen to your parents.
yeah, I just listen. If that was
Brody literally told Michael, "Get your boat out of the water. You're going to be working the summer job for the rest of the summer."
he was
Granted,
trying to
even
save you.
yeah, well, and I mean back then, like I mean, it's still, of course, now, but like you did as your parent, like you didn't ask why. You did what your dad and mom told you to do. And no, there's got to be a cute girl that Michael wants to impress, and blah blah blah.
It's that cute girl that's gonna catch up with you.
Yeah,
Don't
I
do
mean,
it.
yep, yep. It's always
That
a cute girl.
my whole thing about this is I'm sorry if that was Brayden and I have to go rescue my child. He will never hear the end of it. Never.
Especially if I gotta fight a fucking shark.
If I got to fist fight a shark for you, you're gonna hear
Well,
about.
and Michael's already escaped death from Bruce, in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, which granted, I'm glad he likes, he likes being out on his boat. We shouldn't always let traumatic events hold us back from doing the things that we like to do. But maybe if he had a little bit of that, just a little bit.
Maybe you should have just erred on the side of caution. Not only that, I'm sorry, Mrs. Chief Brody, I'm gonna need you to come to the front for a minute.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that shit? I understand you're a busy lady. I understand you got things to do. But I'm gonna need you to stop fighting with your husband about keeping your children on land when this man fought a shark. If my significant other came home from fighting a shark and keeping our kids safe, and you're telling me, hey, I think I'm a little sketched out by things right now, I might listen. Now, granted, Brody did hide certain things because he didn't want to make people panic. But no. If we already had Bruce in the first movie and we now have lived there for 5 years, we're still Bruce free, I don't care. I'm not forgetting that. There was a Bruce the Shark at one point in time. I will watch my kid I don't care if he's 5 or 15. I'm going to be watching him.
The mayor was just with the boating accident, there's a lot of deaths and things that happen every summer. But you can't do anything to prevent anything because definitely things when there is deep waters or deep water, I don't know what I'm saying, involved, that accidents happen. But when you have and another thing, the lady who was looking at the killer whale, the orca, and looking at the bite radius and all of that, where's her boss? Because she said it could either be a great white or it could have been another killer whale. And you just completely went to that it was a killer whale. They don't always attack each other.
Yeah.
And granted, a lot of times, the killer whales will eat a damn shark. But I don't know. There's just a lot of people and adults in this movie that are just dumb.
So dumb.
So dumb.
I'm sorry, but Mayor Vaughn is still the king of denial in this movie.
He's a fuck ass. I'm just going to say it.
I understand tourism. Okay, again, my hometown is a very big tourist area. We have Cedar Point. When growing up, we added a lot of water parks. We have some of the biggest in the area. It is a very touristy place. And it's not just here. You go a little bit further and you go to Catawba or Marblehead. That's the lake. And people are spending summers. They have summer houses there, things like that. There are a lot of people that do that. There comes certain challenges and different things with tourist season. That's a given. But if there's a body, no.
It's just bro, you went through this already.
Right. Because we recently went through this. I don't think I talked about it, but I recently went to one of the islands with my family. The day it happened, there is actually a situation the day or day two prior where they found a body in the treatment plant. And
I could not believe when you told me that.
Yeah. And in order to be cautious, they had a whole boiling thing, boil alert in the whole area. Nothing was getting sold unless it was bottled. They were pouring out water. I told Kylee, literally when we were leaving, when we came back from the ferry, they literally were opening up fire hydrants and dumping water out. And so, like, there's just certain things, like, yeah, you just take a precaution. And, like, your island already got attacked before by a shark. The man who fought, like, literally fist fought a shark is trying to tell you, I got the heebie jeebies. I understand that you want to make money, you want to build up your, but you're, no.
If you just would have let him go do what he needed to do to kill that
Right.
fucking shark, it would have saved you more money that way. You
Yeah.
could have closed the beaches and it could have been taken care of and you could have opened them back up. It's not like people aren't gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, but I mean, it's a common theme a lot when it comes to these small towns and when things happen. They like to cover them up. They don't like to deal with it. They like to ignore it. And then something really fucking bad happens, and then they're forced to admit it. You know what I mean? Do something.
Yeah, because I was really, honestly, I was kind of rooting for the shark to come take out the mayor.
I don't know
I,
why they never made that a thing.
they needed to. They needed
But
to.
I don't think he ever got out really on the water. I don't think he ever got out on the water. You know what I mean?
That's guilty behavior right there.
I don't. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you know,
oh, the
but you
water's fine, but you won't go in it. Okay.
right. So that's very guilty behavior. What's your favorite scene from this movie?
Well, what kind of like? I mean,
I will definitely say mine is the helicopter. Like that scene with the
yeah,
helicopter and just like that whole that to me, I was like, wait a minute. You're not even safe on a helicopter? For
yeah.
sure.
I really that's definitely one of my favorites. But I do like when I think her name is Marge. That is who was on the boat with Sean.
Mhm.
I liked when she got eaten. That sounds horrible. But when Sean was like stranded on that other boat and Michael's friends were like, "You better grab this damn rope right now. I'm gonna throw it to you. You better grab it." And just they were kind of being rough and tough, but like it was just like it was a very serious fucking thing. Like you need to grab this rope so we can get you over here so you're with us. But then once he got over and they just hugged him and like loved on him, you know what I mean? Because nowadays I don't see teenage kids taking their friend's brother out to go do things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were very in this movie. There was obviously a cast of characters because one of the nerds is the guy that played Arnie and Christine. And but
Yeah.
they all are hanging out and doing things together. And so it is very wholesome in that aspect.
Yeah, like Tina was like having Sean come on her boat. It was just very I just feel like you don't really see that a whole lot nowadays with kids
You
and
don't.
friends and siblings.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's wrong with America.
We solved it. Um, one last question before we kind of move on to some factoids. Um, this is just a crazy question. This is a cast question, 100%. Who do you think would win in a fight? Bruce the Shark or Creature from Black Lagoon?
Bruce.
That's interesting. I feel like the Creature would win. The
Why?
only thing that I feel like the Bruce has a leg up, obviously, is like taking a bite out of him. But like, I don't know. I think Gilman, if he got a good grip on him, I think he could take him.
Okay, but I've not seen. anything Creature of the Black Lagoon, right?
I didn't until this very moment. And now I'm just gonna, just
Are
go
you
away.
disowning me?
I'm not
You
disowning
disowning
you.
me?
I'm not disowning you. We're gonna have to make you watch it.
Okay.
But I just also feel like Gilman is very. So the reason I think Gilman and Bruce are very like comparable. Bruce, in my opinion, doesn't fuck with you unless you fuck with him. Because let's be
Bruce?
honest. Yeah, because I feel like if they had done exactly what Brody had said, if they had cleared the beaches, everything like that, I think Bruce would have hit out. I think he
Yeah.
wouldn't have had a feeding ground and stuff like that. You're taking something that is a monster. It's in their DNA to go after blood. They're a predator. You kind of know better. You know the risks, especially living on the ocean, that this is something that could happen. But you're tempting fate. Gilman is the same way. Like, he never asks for them to come in his territory. They come in, they want to fuck shit up. And all he wants to do is be left alone. Like, so they're surprised when they then get consequences for their action. So, all right, we are back after a break, but we're definitely adding Creatures of the Black Lagoon to Kylie's watch list.
Most
So,
definitely.
some people have said they want to see Jason and Bruce the Shark fight. And I'm like, I don't know how.
That sounds like some Bermuda Tentacles type shit.
And my whole thing too is I know like Jason can't die, right? But Jason can still be bit in half. Like, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah. Then, like, what happens after he's bit in half?
Does he just live in Bruce's stomach?
That would suck. Then he would.
It's like, oh, well, yeah. I don't know. I would definitely, I mean, stranger things could happen. So that would be an interesting one. So the film's tagline, this is some facts that we are going to talk about. We're going to put the link in the description down below. The film's tagline, "Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water," has become one of the most famous in film history. Kaleidoscope Films had also developed the first Jaws film trailer. Their staff copywriter, Karen Levitt, is credited with coining that phrase. So shout out to her. The budget for this movie was $30 million to produce. It was over 3 times more than the original, which is crazy.
Did they make that money back in box office?
I have not seen anything about it, but I don't know. I know that one of the actors, John D. Hancock, he blamed his departure on the mechanical shark. He said, "You get a couple of shots and the shark breaks." So, I mean, so roughly, this is 2020, adjusted for 2020. 30 million then would be comparable to 120 million now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This was the most expensive film that Universal Pictures had made up to that time, and the second most expensive film of 1978. The first was, what movie do you think the first was? And it's not a horror movie. It's a superhero movie.
Superman?
Yeah. Yep. So, this film also surpassed The Spy Who Loved Me, James Bond, as the highest grossing sequel worldwide, and held the record until it was surpassed by Rocky II, which itself was surpassed a year later by Star Wars Episode V, The Empire Strikes Back. So,
Interesting.
Roy Schneider was paid $400,000 to reprise the role of Chief Brody, 4 times what he got paid for the original film.
Yeah, I was reading there's some drama between him and the director.
This would be Roy's last Jaws film. He has said some things about the film since then.
Yeah.
And different things. We're not going to get into those salacious bits, but if you would like to know about them, they're in the IMDb.
Yep,
Let's
check
just
him out.
say he was not the happiest to continue on with Chief Brody, but it's okay. So, the film inspired much more merchandising and sponsors than the first film. Products include sets of trading cards from Topps and Baker's Bread, paper cups from Coca-Cola, beach towels, a souvenir program, shark tooth necklaces, coloring and activity books, and a model kit of Brody's truck. This tracks for this movie because if you see, Jaws is something that is still heavily merchandised.
Oh,
heavily. Jaws is everywhere. They have lounge flies. This 50th rollout anniversary rollout, they're everywhere. They had collections with everybody. So, the merchandise was on it. The helicopter used in aerial shots belonged to real-life ex-Army pilot Jerry M. Baxter. It was hired while he was running a crop dusting business after the filmmakers fancied a helicopter attack and determined that this one was perfect for the job. Baxter was also not only hired to fly it, but was asked to play the part of the harbor patrol pilot as well. So, in addition, he also built the full-scale model that was capsized by the shark using salvaged parts and sold to Universal at the film's completion. So, that's pretty cool.
it is.
Steven Spielberg and Richard Dreyfuss were approached to direct and star in the sequel, but production on Close Encounter of the Third Kind was running behind and they declined to participate.
Fine.
You're like, I guess.
Whatever.
Jaws 2 is technically a Christmas movie because the final month of the shoot was in December. It was conducted 7 days a week without any breaks, so principal photography could wrap up on the 2nd of December in 1977, just before Christmas.
Damn.
So, don't forget, kids, put out your cookies for Santa and put out your bait for your good old buddy Bruce. Bruce the Christmas shark.
Yep.
So, the sharks from the original movie had rotted behind sheds on the lower lot of Universal Studios in the intervening years, and the only pieces that were salvageable were the tube frames.
I can bet they hated that motherfucker.
Mm,
They did. They did not care.
they did not. They notoriously used some of the pieces from, I don't know the original movie, but maybe Jaws 2, for Jaws the Ride. And there is a story from Steven Spielberg that I think you could find clips of it still on YouTube, but they took the orca out of the ride without his knowledge, and they like destroyed it. They like cut it down, and so they ended up, I think it was like a collector's edition, maybe for like the 30th or 40th, where they had pieces of the boat that came with the movie. But we also have to remember that this time period was very notorious for people not taking care of props because they didn't think certain movies were going to be hits. I mean, we all hear about the Star Wars ones where there are pieces of like Star Wars stuff that people had on their lawn and stuff for years, and then it's worth like millions of dollars. So Bruce, there is one Bruce the Shark that has been restored to its former glory, and it is currently hanging in the Museum of Motion Pictures in California. Our friend Ashley Causey actually got to see Bruce the Shark in person. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still upset. I could have gone on the Jaws ride when I was at Universal, and I didn't do it. And there's a part of me that has never been the same since.
Why?
I don't know.
What was your reason for not going on that? I mean, I wouldn't have. I'm not a roller coaster. Is it a roller coaster?
No, it was like a boat ride.
Oh. I may have gone on that. I'm not a roller coaster.
You know what? I love the Mummy movies, and the Mummy ride had just opened around the time that I had gone, and that was like my priority. I got to ride that twice.
Yeah.
So,
valid.
And a lot of those rides, like if it was certain rides, there were long lines. Because like the only reason I got to ride the Mummy twice is I basically abandoned my thumbs up to it. I basically abandoned my grandfather. My grandfather looked at me and said, "There is a shorter line for single riders. Why don't you just go do it by yourself?" Okay. So I don't think he would have liked it anyways.
Yeah.
So John probably wouldn't have fucked with the mummies. So, but do you have any facts about Jaws 2?
I got one. Let's see here on my notes. I hate my phone. Mark Gilpin, who played Sean Brody, claims that when they were shooting one of the scenes on the makeshift raft of wrecked yachts, they were being circled by a real hammerhead shark. The actors were scared and began to scream and holler at the production crew, which was filming that particular scene from a distance. The crew was oblivious to the danger and assumed the actors were simply in character and gave them a thumbs up.
I would have flipped out.
I would have lost my shit.
I would have been like,
"How dare you?
I'm not coming back."
Yeah. How dare you?
I mean, I dipped out on making steaks for the guys on Father's Day because of that steak. So sorry, guys.
Yep.
I mean, valid though. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not. No. So that's crazy though. Like you're filming a shark movie and then
You're
that happens.
filming a shark movie and then
And
there's a shark.
you're like, listen, I know that there's the mechanical one right over here, but there's an actual one.
Not the mechanical one right here.
Oh my gosh, I would die. I would
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Well, Jaws 2, they definitely needed a bigger boat.
Yep.
They definitely got a bigger budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those teens learned after that, you better listen to your parents.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a
So-
solid movie. Yeah, sometimes I like it better than the first. I sometimes wonder if this one should have been the first, or like a part two. I don't, or yeah, well, yeah, duh. And then it would have been Brody and Hooper and Quinn going out and killing the shark.
I feel like I love the first one because it's the first of its kind, right?
Yeah,
This is definitely a beefier one. I will say there is more tension to the first one
yeah,
because in this one it was definitely more action leaning. You could definitely see where they were like splashing into it, where in the first one they had to be more creative because they couldn't show, like, it was too much money for them to show the shark all the time.
yeah,
So it's kind of the same way like Alien and Aliens. Like I
yeah,
love Aliens. I love Alien, but like Aliens is better to me. But Alien also, they only had this much of a budget and they could only afford to show like a couple minutes of the xenomorph here or there. Where like the
right,
second one, they got like a way beefier budget. So of course they could just like throw xenomorphs up everywhere.
right.
So I definitely think that this one, I like the way that they approach certain scenes and the way that they kind of made this definitely feel like same shit, different day, but on a bigger
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
So I like this one. Jaws 3 necessarily isn't the greatest jam for me. Jaws the Revenge just doesn't care.
I love that movie.
It has no chill
No,
whatsoever.
none. It
Yeah.
it's great. It
Yeah.
really is. I watched it again uh the other day, and I really hadn't like sat down and watched it since I was a kid, and I'm like, you know what? This is a banger. It really is. And you had a lot of people from the first and second movie come back, and that shark just gave no fucks whatsoever. And I just thought it was so well done.
Yeah. It,
Three, that's a whole nother story.
yeah, I like Revenge. Revenge is kind of silly though, because like the whole point is Bruce, like Bruce coming after them.
Yeah,
Like, or Bruce's kid, or however you want to like say it. Someone comes after somebody.
yeah,
So, but I enjoy it. So I would also say, like, if you like this one, Deep Blue Sea is one that I grew up with and one that I think
yeah.
people like sleep on a lot of times. And I think it
So
is
good.
the perfect marriage of like updating Jaws, but still keeping that tone, but making it its own.
Yeah.
So, I would definitely recommend it, but just don't fuck with sharks. That's just that's the only advice we're going to give you with this one. Just leave the sharks alone.
And listen to your parents, kids.
Yes, especially ours. If you're listening to this podcast in the future, please listen to us cuz we know what we're talking about.
Yep.
We're historians on this.
Yep. We are.
We are.
We are.
So, but that is Jaws 2. So we're rolling into what's on our mind this week in horror. So, Kylie, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Friday was the season premiere of Dexter Resurrection, and boy, let me tell you, those first 5 minutes of that first episode was so packed. I am so excited to see how this season unfolds. Like, you just have a lot of people from Dexter that you have not seen in a very long time, and you're not really expecting. And I just can't wait. And to be honest, you think Dexter's going to get caught again? Spoiler alert, he's not. I cannot wait to see what this season has to offer. You see Uma Thurman, and
Ooh.
yeah, I think she's gonna be a complete badass in this one. You see Harrison, Dexter's son, kind of acclimating to a new life and kind of coming really into his own. I definitely think I like his character a lot more than I did in New Blood, but I'm ready for it to be Friday.
That's awesome. I am
Yeah,
I need to get caught up on Dexter.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
I definitely do. Um only so much time. I am super excited because today I picked up something really cool at my local exchange. Something I didn't know existed. I'm trying to get back into gaming on my little Switch. So they had The Thing remastered, and I'm excited. I'm also terrified to play this game and be tackling The Thing because the first
I
time I played,
feel that's valid.
the first time I played the House of the Dead remake, I forgot how intense that was in the first couple minutes. And they opened those gates and those zombies came out. I was not prepared, man. I was not. I was like, I died within 2 seconds. It was like, I was gone. I was like, okay, that's valid. I died. So I have not gotten far because it's just like, I forget that game is just so like, because I was used to playing it with like the gun and yeah.
Right.
So I guess we're gonna see how this is. I will say I also watched Until Dawn finally, and listen, I am not somebody who has played the game, and so if anyone has played the game and thinks the movie is garbage, I'm gonna take your opinion as valid. But for me, I thought as a horror movie, it was kind of pretty freaking cool. It
Yeah.
was very. It had no chill. Absolutely no chill. Like violent deaths. Violent.
Okay.
And I appreciated it.
Okay.
So I would definitely check it out. So yeah, I will, update everyone later on if I get somewhat even far in this game or not. And if I survive, I will update everyone. But if you have some suggestions for other horror games for the Switch, let me know. I like playing my little Switch, so I know there isn't a ton, but any suggestions would be great. So just let me know. But before we end, I didn't even think about talking about this last episode. But I just really briefly wanted to say our hearts go out to Julian McMahon's family.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
he was a titan in a lot of things, but for a lot of us horror fans, he was a gateway into horror as Cole
Yeah.
from Charmed. And I know for me growing up, he was like one of my first like TV crushes. Everyone had their like crush from like Gossip Girl or Friends or Sex in the City. I was a Charmed person and I loved him and just thought the world of him. So
Mine's Nip Tuck, Christian Troy.
Yeah, and he was incredible. I recently, years prior, watched when he was on FBI's Most Wanted, and he was incredible on that. I definitely want to check out Bait, which is his horror shark movie that is
Yeah.
on Tubi. But definitely keeping people in his family in our thoughts and prayers. And cancer affects a lot of people,
Yeah.
and so we're sending positive thoughts and vibes to not only his family but anybody who is currently struggling with cancer diagnosis. So I just briefly wanted to talk about that. So forever in our hearts, you will always be Cole Turner to me and will always be a comfort character. So thank you for just being such a comfort to so many of us and giving to us in that way. We truly appreciate it. And we hope you are resting in peace with the late, great Shannon Daugherty, and you guys are just chopping it up in heaven.
Yep.
So,
Most definitely.
Until next time, on that note, we're going to go ahead and end it. So, our advice for Hot Ghoul Summer: stay away from the sharks.
Yep.
And if you need to fight a shark, drinking a Lottie. So,
yes.
Alani, if you need a commercial for that, hit Kylee and I up.
Yep.
Yeah. So until next time, it's me, Cass, and
Kylee.
And we're the Horrorcraft Podcast, and we say bye.
Bye.
Stay spooky.